Harrison Butker is on for the extra point. And his kick is good to make it 7-0 KC. So that drives 7 plays in length. And it's capped off with a Kansas City touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. The Detroit Lions getting the football back here. CD, what do you think of the Lions for 3 weeks? You know, that opener where they tied Arizona, people are like, I'm not sure about this club. But now they won week 2. They beat Philadelphia in week 3. All of a sudden, they're 2-0-1.
And really should be 3-0, as you alluded to, because that tie with Arizona on opening day felt like a loss for Detroit and a win for Arizona because of the Cardinals' comeback. But Matthew Stafford, 16 of 32, 201 yards and a touchdown. Efficient, no turnovers was the key for him. But they do have plenty of room for improvement. They want to run the ball better. They talk about it every year. They haven't done that yet so far. And in the fourth quarter, back-to-back weeks, the defense did come through with a crucial stop. Now they're going to need stops in a big way next week, because guess who's coming to town?
I know, Patrick Mahomes.
And the Kansas City Chiefs, the NFL MVP of 2018. And then they get an open week in week 5.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Stafford now to throw. And Jones has it over the middle. The 20, 10, touchdown, Detroit. Marvin Jones, 65 yards as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. Early on, you hit on it. Needing to avoid the big play. Easier said than done, though. There's a big touchdown.
Yeah, well, the big thing is when he does get his catches, you've got to tackle him and get him on the ground. Obviously, weren't able to do it on that one.
Now Matt Prater for the point after. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Kansas City offense now as they get set to take over. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They start the drive on the ground. It's Williams. And they're able to to get this one across the 35. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. Getting the sense, Charles, are going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, it's working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They go play action. Now Mahomes. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. The 2017 All-Pro Darius Slay there in coverage, knocking it away. Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. They'll run it with Williams. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
It was Damon Harrison on the stop. A 3-yard gain on the play brings up 3rd down.
These two teams all tied after 1. The Chiefs with the football as we start the second quarter. They'll need to convert a 3rd and 7, though, to start things out. Working from the gun, Mahomes. And this is caught by Watkins. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A gain of 22. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 38. Looking to throw is Mahomes. He's got Watkins on the out route. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a 1st down again. Mahomes going to pull it out and keep it himself. Caught out left side by Robinson. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. It's Mahomes. To the right side, it's Kelsey. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Mahomes now on 1st down. They'll set up the screen. This is Williams. And this play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back to the 15. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 14.
You know what the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
Bet you're going to tell me. Good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first is good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you, leak out to whichever side or even in the middle where you want to set up the screen, and then you do your blocking. How about the read, though, by the defensive guys? They weren't fooled at all and actually ran with the lineman to where the play was and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
This is caught. Watkins. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down.
They sure put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
Yellow. Squeeze, double.
Mahomes looks to throw on third down. He's got it. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's fourth down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. So on fourth down, Mahomes off, Harrison Butker on for the Chiefs field goal. From the right hash at a bit of a tight angle. And Butker able to put this one through. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. Butker, what a pickup he's been for Kansas City the last 2 years. Remember, he was drafted by Carolina to be the eventual successor to Graham Gano. That didn't pan out. Casey got him as a free agent. He's been really good.
Yeah, Gano said, oh no, I'm keeping my job. But Butker found his home in Kansas City, a franchise record for points scored in his first 2 seasons.
After the field goal, here's Butker to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. And he'll wind up with about 6 up past the 30 to the 31.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. On second down, Johnson. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. 10-7, our score.
1st and 10 at the 36-yard line.
We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Charles, with that incompletion, I want to step back for a second, just talk about the quarterbacks this year. It's an interesting stat that you and I were looking at before the game. 40 quarterbacks have been used in the first 3 weeks of the NFL season, most in the Super Bowl era. Some injuries and then just some changes at QB.
Yeah, and 20 of the starting quarterbacks this past Sunday under the age of 27. But what I like about what I'm seeing, despite the injuries, retirements, guys being unable to play, I'm seeing these youngsters and backups come in and play well in a lot of cases. Gardner Minshew in Jacksonville has taken charge there. They got their first win. Kyle Allen, 4-touchdown pass for Carolina in relief of Cam Newton. They got their first win. Going into week 3, the collective quarterback rating for the season, 94.0, which was the highest at that stage of the season in a long time in the NFL. So maybe the quarterbacking straits that we talk about all the time aren't as dire as we've made them out to be.
2nd and 2 at the Chiefs' 45-yard line.
Stafford barking out signals and trying to get his guys set quickly. Looking to throw again on second down. Stafford, throw left side, taken in by Galladay. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
The left side completion to Jones. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half.
Set, 250.
From the red zone now, Stafford. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number 1. Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's first and goal. Now the Notre Dame man. This is Theo Riddick. And he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. A 3-yard touchdown run. And the Lions are going to jump back in front.
And while that touchdown does not give them an insurmountable lead, it's still a lead, and that always feels good to a team.
They'd love to take that into the lockers, but a little time left on that clock, so some work to do.
I like that. I like how you're guarding against a letdown there.
Are you looking forward?
Coaching them up from right up here in the booth.
Prater on to add the extra point. And that makes it 14-10. So a nice drive put together there. They go 75 yards in 9 plays. And it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. So after the touchdown, Martin now on to kick this one away. This fielded at the 2. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. And now here comes Kansas City. Inside of a minute left in the half, does the fact that you're down on the scoreboard influence what you do or, I guess, don't do on this final drive?
It certainly does, but what influences me even more is who I've got running my football team out on the field and the weapons around him. Can he make a play? Can he get into someone that we're going to trust to take care of the ball? If that's the case, I might push it a little bit here and try and get something before the half runs out.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Mahomes. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. All right, we got a second here. Let's have some fun. Let's be cheesy, because why not? So we have the 71st Emmys on Sunday.
No wine. Just straight cheese.
71st Emmys on Sunday. So let's hand out a few awards.
Okay.
Let's start with Best Supporting Actor right now in the NFL. Who are you going with?
I'm going with the Mustache Man, Gardner Minshew in Jacksonville. Because despite the fact that they're 1-2, got their first win last Thursday against Tennessee, he stepped in week 1 and set a record for rookie quarterbacks. What was he, 22 of 25 throwing in that game? 88% right out of the gate. And has continued good play since then. And let's face it, the Mustache Mania is sweeping Duval County as well as the rest of the state of Florida.
best actor in a lead role, I'm assuming you're going Mahomes.
You have to, because we kept saying he couldn't possibly do what he did last year. He's on a pace to eclipse what he did last year in every category. And by the way, hasn't thrown an interception yet, and his team's undefeated at 3-0.
All right, one more. Best director, head coach. Who you got?
I'm going to go each conference. AFC, Sean McDermott, Buffalo Bills, off to a 3-0 start. I'm not sure how many people saw that one coming. And then in the NFC, finally fulfilling their promise here in the early going, the San Francisco 49ers and Kyle Shanahan. Also undefeated, getting ready to take on the Los Angeles Rams for supremacy in the NFC West in the upcoming weeks.
Throwing on first down is Mahomes. There he goes, right side. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Demarcus Robinson, as the first half is winding down. And the Chiefs are once again going to retake the lead. Now, he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Butker on for the PAT. It's good, and they'll take a 17-14 lead. So that drive, 4 plays. And it winds up with the Chiefs hitting pay dirt. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. This one taken just inside the 10. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. The final shot before the break, Stanford. Well, that's complete to Jesse James. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. So we've hit halftime, just a field goal separating these two teams at the break. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Thank you, sir. A field goal separates these two teams as we come back for this second half. Ready for the start of the third quarter. The Chiefs have the lead and set to receive the football. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. Here comes the Chiefs offensive unit as they'll have it to begin quarter number 3. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show him one thing, hit him with something else.
And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it was just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But looks like they're ready to go.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. To throw, it's Mahomes. That one caught by Tyreek Hill. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
Mahomes now, pretty amazing. 14 of 16 throwing the ball. It's 1st and 10. They fake the give. Now Mahomes. And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
So not quite a first down just yet as they come up on 2nd and less than a yard. From the gun, it's a run for Williams. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 16 yards, a first down.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now Williams works his way inside the 30 on a pickup of 4.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Looking left side for Watkins, and he's got it. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Now here's Mahomes. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a 1st down.
Mahomes will bring him up 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. Mahomes now to throw. His pass caught at the 4. And he takes this into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. From 10 yards out, and the Chiefs are able to extend their lead. A good, sustained drive there in this third quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
Butker now to add the extra point. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. So an 8-play drive covering 80 yards. And it's capped off with a Kansas City touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their own 27. Faking the give to Johnson. Now it's Stafford. James has got it. Complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That one goes for 24 yards.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? And it sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. Stafford on 1st down. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. An excellent pickup of 20 yards.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. To throw is Stafford. And his throw is incomplete. He was looking for his big tight end there, Jesse James. That'll bring up 2nd down. He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29. Throwing again. Stafford. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete. So the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down.
And now offensively, it's 3rd and 10, and I'm just thinking to myself, actors always say, what's my motivation before a big scene? Right now, the play caller's thinking, what have I done before that's worked well that I can go to right now?
Yeah, because they were pretty successful in the first half scoring points. Haven't done anything so far here in the second half. Now it's Stafford. Screenplay, Johnson. The Lions passing game in sync now. They've got another first down.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen, where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
Stafford now. 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. To the air again. Stafford. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. Call it a 1-yard gain on the play, and it'll make it 2nd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Throwing again is Stafford. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. And he's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. Jesse James there to make the grab, as they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. No surprise there, 3rd and goal down here. That's where they're going to look for their tight end.
Yeah, you want that big guy running his routes because it doesn't matter who they cover him with. If it's another big guy, he might use his bulk against him. If it's a shorter defender, might go over the top. Either way, you tend to find a little bit of a mismatch in that area.
Extra point good by Prater. And that cuts the lead to 3, 24-21. So that drive in total 8 plays. And the end result, a Detroit touchdown. Here's Martin now following the score as he'll send this one away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Out now the Chiefs offensive unit ready to do battle again. They were able to extend their lead with an opening drive touchdown here in the 3rd quarter, but that just got matched a moment ago.
So we know that what they discussed at the half worked. Now, what are the counters to that, right? You don't just run the same things over and over. Some do, but many will also show something and then come back with something else to keep the defense off balance.
Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 26. Looking to throw is Mahomes. Oh, incomplete. A turnover would have really helped there. Almost intercepted. Instead, it's just 2nd down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Mahomes. Middle of the field, it's Robinson. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. 23 yards the pickup there. This will probably be the last play of the quarter. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Now a 10th carry. Here's Williams. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. Another strong gain on the last two plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 41. Shotgun snap to Mahomes. To the right side, it's Kelsey. A gain of 6 there on first. Kelsey, such a valuable part of this offense. Made the Pro Bowl the last 4 seasons. 2018 being the most productive when he went over 1,300 yards. 10 touchdowns, and a great relationship between he and Pat Mahomes off the field. Very good friends, attended a bunch of high-profile sporting events together in the offseason, and that chemistry, it certainly shows on the field. Throwing again on 2nd down. Mahomes, and tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Now Mahomes on the bootleg. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Damon Harrison coming in to drop him for a loss of 8. And it also brings up 4th.
You and I both know we're into a whole new realm of football because we're not just looking at tendencies anymore. We're looking at analytics. And I've got to think the analytics on 3rd and 1 say run the football.
Here's Dustin Colquitt now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt.
Come on, man. Let's go.
Now the Lions offense, they get ready to head back out there. And things are starting to move in the right direction. They get the touchdown last drive, then their defense gets them the football back.
Yeah, now they have a chance to get the lead if they can put something together here. And I'm eager to see how they decide to do it. Do they want to be methodical, or do they want to take the big strike and go after it right now?
If you're thinking of a comeback here, you go to 2016. That's when Stafford had an NFL record 8 fourth-quarter comebacks. But last year, despite playing all 16 games, he had 0. Now left side on the swing pass. No gain on the screen there. It's 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Here's Stafford. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. That pass just a little bit off. It looked like maybe he tried to force it in there.
Game speed, always different, no matter what you do in practice. Can't simulate it, right? So your decision-making, everything has to be a little bit quicker. Sometimes it can throw you off until you adjust.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
And the blitz does come. It's caught. Jones. And mark him down way up close to the 40 at the 39. A big 3rd down conversion with a gain of 28. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Throwing is Stafford. Over the middle, it's Amendola. And they've got it well across midfield, down to the 40 before it's all said and done. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory, right at the 40. Stafford looks to throw again. And the pressure gets to him and brings him down. Stafford is sacked. The Mississippi State man, Chris Jones, with a sack there. 3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. They come up on a 2nd down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down the wire.
False start, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves them back 5.
Still 2nd down.
And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. From the gun, here's Stafford. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down. Back-to-back big plays defensively. First the sack. Now they force the incompletion on 3rd and long. Things looking pretty good for them.
And this is where they have to be careful because they've got the momentum going their way. They will be really amped up to get to the quarterback. Look out. Draw, screen, something that can be used against them.
Now a desperation throw. This is caught at the 20. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. They give them a gain of 37.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
Clock running here, under 90 seconds to go. From the red zone now, Stafford. Galladay's got it, and the Lions have a touchdown. Kenny Galladay there to make the grab as his guys have taken the lead here in the final 2 minutes.
Wow, I know it's a never-say-never situation, but to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
The score that puts them in front here late, but now you got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return.
And what happens is guys get overeager, get out of their lane because they're so excited they want to make the last tackle. You mess up, could come back at you a long way.
And there's going to be a stoppage here. The booth wants to take another look at this potential touchdown. It took them an extra look, but they found out it is a touchdown indeed. The official says this one counts. Now Prater to add the PAT. And that will make this a 4-point game. So that drive goes 8 plays, and it's capped off by a touchdown for the Lions. So after the touchdown, Martin now on to kick this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Here comes Mahomes and the Chiefs. Down 28-24, a minute 14 to go. They've surrendered a double-digit lead but can rescue themselves late as they come up on first down. He'll look to throw. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete. The 2017 All-Pro Darius Slay there in coverage, knocking it away. He has had a great game defensively. He's been east-west, north-south, everywhere. Yeah,
and I love how you described that, because to be a great defender, you have to be able to move up and back, sideline to sideline, and he's been fantastic. Reminds me of a young Charles Davis when he was playing Madden.
Absolutely. Oh, wow, I thought you were going on the field, but okay, I see you. The Chiefs will use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game. The Chiefs on third down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. He's back to throw. He's going to let it fly. This is caught inside the 15. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Demarcus Robinson in the final minute. And they have taken the lead here in the final minute. Might be seeing that one on the highlight shows tonight. The home run ball here in the 4th quarter to take the lead.
There's nothing like being aggressive, preaching that to your team, and then following through. All the way through. Go ahead and throw one more up there. Why not?
Been a great game, and we are not done yet. Now an important extra point here to stretch this lead to a field goal. He's got it, and this is indeed up to a 3-point lead. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it winds up with the Chiefs hitting pay dirt. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
Here we go. Here we go.
Now it's the Lions' turn, trailing by a field goal. 50 seconds to go. They need, at minimum, 3 points out of this as they come up 1st and 10. Back to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. The sack comes from Anthony Hitchens.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Now it's Stafford. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Kenny Golladay is intended receiver. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down.
Third down and 16.
Blue 60!
50, check my 50. Okay, just like that. Just like that.
Stafford now to throw. Got a man, it's Amendola. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go in the football game. Stafford. And that is incomplete. So 17 seconds now on the clock here. He was looking for Theo Riddick there, but it'll be 2nd down. The way he's throwing the football today, almost a surprise when he doesn't complete a pass like happened there, but he needs a few more to get his guys downfield.
Well, the way he's thrown it leads him to believe that he's going to get those completions, and that means the guys going out for passes, they'll run even harder because they expect it as well.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. The coverage good that time by Kendall Fuller.
Kendall Fuller there on the coverage.
The Lions on 3rd down. They have been superb. 5 for 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. Back to throw. And he's taken down. A Chiefs sack. A costly sack. They'll have to use a timeout here. And barring a defensive penalty, they'll be looking at one final play. One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. One last throw here for Stafford. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over. So this one in the win column for Kansas City. And you look back over the score sheet. Interesting. A very clean game. No turnovers by either side.
An absolute rarity when we watch games now because defenses have put such an emphasis on taking the ball away. Well, what we saw here was offenses spending their time saying, look, you know they're coming for it. Ball security is paramount. So they worked on that, not just a week of practice, but I'm sure all during training camp. Make sure when you have it, tuck it away because danger lurks everywhere you turn.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say so long, everyone, from Ford Field.
bags from Prada. Rolling up. I'm in a brand new model. It'll be here tomorrow. I don't got fears or problems. Only got real ones round them. Only got. It take a week to count it. Then I'm back up. Name the place and we pack up. Running these racks up. 100 meals a week after. Dying from laughter. When they come to handles, never had one. With a bad one. Made a meal today and they my last one.
Oh, I had to get back up. I had to get back up. I can't take no off. You better call back up. I'm running it down to finish. I don't play, get down and get it. Talk about that, come slide, I'm with it. Better see me now, on God, I'm litty. I know that you tryna go big. Better run up the cash, you love to spend. Better kill it and did it again. But the intent, no, I'm down to win. I can't feel bad about it. I know you sad about it.
Know you sad about it. Know you sad about it.
I'm moving too fast, I can't stop. Wiping it down with the paint hot. Left hand on the wheel. I'm closing the top on the raindrop. I'm keeping the game in the headlock. When throwed and blinded my dreadlock. In the end zone with the mad dot. One phone call, get it dead stop. I feel like I own the season. Say one thing, just give me a reason. Knowing you're mad, I'm undefeated. Top dog, making it even.
Oh, I had to get back up. I had to get back up.
I can't take no off. You better call back up. I'm running it down to finish. I don't play, get down and get it. Talk about that, come slide, I'm with it. Better see me now, on God, I'm litty. I know that you tryna go big. Better run up the cash, you love to spend. Better kill it.
Hey everybody, it's the Coach, and this is Monday Night Football on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see fourth-year quarterback Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys as they match up with the NFL's all-time passing leader, Drew Brees, and the New Orleans Saints. With that, let's get over to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome with a call from New Orleans. Here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
From a city that's played host to 10 Super Bowls, here's a look inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. This is what it looked like just a moment ago in the heart of New Orleans. Folks, there's no place for this noise to go in the Superdome. It is loud, and these fans are ready for football as their Saints get ready to do battle with Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. I'm Brandon Gaudin along with Charles Davis. Charles, good matchup here. A couple of playoff teams from a season ago.
And just think about how the NFL works, partner. 8 teams that made the playoffs the year before didn't make it last season. So there's always going to be parity in this league, and guys have to be ready to go. Just because you made it the year before doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get back again.
Marr now to kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. And here come the Saints for their opening drive. They'll be led out by the first pick in the second round back in 2001, and that's the veteran Drew Brees.
Drew Brees' accomplishments have been borderline astounding when you look back at what people thought about him coming out of college, so-called height issue, you name it, he can do it, and boy, does he prepare well for each and every game.
Yellow weighty, yellow weighty.
Black front four. You don't want none of that. Give it. Pick up the ball.
On 1st and 10, here's Brees. And his first pass is incomplete. The Notre Dame man, Jalen Smith, able to get a hand in and knock it away. And a look now at the offense for New Orleans.
The steal in the 2017 NFL Draft had to be running back Alvin Kamara out of Tennessee, who ended up being that year's NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. Split time with Mark Ingram his first 2 years in the league. With Mark Ingram now in Baltimore, it's his show. And through his first 2 years, almost equal yardage, rushing and receiving. Expect his rushing numbers to take a big leap in 2019.
9 yards on the pickup there as they'll be left with 3rd and 1.
And that's the kind of run that gets everyone excited on offense. And, you know, oftentimes the guys who carry the ball are the ones in the huddle doing the chirping. Right now, I think it's the offensive line telling them, run it again. We are right there about to break a big one.
Just play number 3 here on the opening drive, and it's an early 3rd and 1. Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And he works free. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield. Well, they were in search of a short gain on 3rd down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards. Defense had a chance to get off the field here on the opening drive, couldn't do it.
I know that we go into these meetings with coaches, and sometimes maybe we can get, a little bit numb because they're always going to talk about how important 3rd down is, aren't they? Offense and defense. In this case, one capitalized, and the other, as you said, had a chance to get off the field and didn't get it done.
So after the run by Kamara, now another 1st and 10. From midfield, here's Breeze. Over the middle, that's caught by Meredith. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Last play, they went over 20 yards. This time, they topped 30. All right, Charles, let me put you in the head of one of those defenders out there. You have a big play like that go against you so early. What does that shake your confidence?
It shouldn't, but it often does, because your thought process all during the week is how you're going to get after that offense and make your plays. And when they make one against you, makes you a little bit hesitant.
Time to regroup. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. Working from the gun, it's Breeze. Throwing the out route, incomplete. That's Cook. And he is out of bounds, looks like right at the 15. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. And now the defense for Dallas.
And there's linebacker Leighton Vander Esch, who was so impressive as a rookie in 2018. Many thought Dallas should have opted to pick a wide receiver at that spot. Turns out they made the absolute correct choice. A 2018 Pro Bowler who's only going to get better.
That 1st down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep, and that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and it'll be 3rd and 10.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
So a 3rd and 10, and defensively, a dime look. 6 DBs. Shotgun now for Breeze. And that's knocked away and incomplete. Jordan Lewis right there on the coverage.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
On 4th down, off goes Drew Brees, and on comes the Saints kicker, Will Lutz, for the field goal attempt. From the left hash, this from 34. And Lutz's kick is good. And the Saints are going to take a 3-0 lead. So the opening drive does yield points, maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating 1st downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 first downs and 3 points. Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. The Dallas Cowboys sit at 3-0 here as Dak Prescott brings out the offense. And Week 3 was the game you had, Charles, where they defeated Miami 31-6. Dak Prescott didn't have the perfect passer rating that he had the opening week, but still pretty efficient, 246 yards, and he threw for 2 scores.
And really got locked in the second half. In the first half, I think he and the Cowboys team actually pressed a little bit. despite knowing that they were playing another NFL team, I think they felt like, okay, we can go out and get our statistics in this game. And they pressed it a little bit. Actually got a little greedy on his interception, trying to throw it downfield. But in the second half, locked in, played well, looked like the Dak Prescott we saw the first 2 weeks. He truly is ascending into the upper echelon of NFL quarterbacks.
Now this throw caught left side. A good pickup there, 21 yards. Looking back to Cooper's numbers from last year after that trade, he ended up playing 9 games with the Cowboys in 2018. 725 yards, 6 scores. Also had the 100-yard game in the playoffs against the Rams. And if you add up the numbers between the two teams last year, he was over 1,000 for the third time in 4 NFL seasons. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Here's the man who's led the league in rushing twice in 3 seasons, Ezekiel Elliott. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays. Well, no slow start here. A couple nice chunk plays back-to-back.
I love the momentum that they're showing here early because they did it both ways, right? Threw the ball on 1st down for a nice chunk of yardage. Came right back and ran the ball. Looks like they got the defense set back on their heels. Let's see if they can keep this moving.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
3rd and short yardage. Prescott complete to Jason Witten. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. Dak fighting his tight end Witten, and the Cowboys have a 1st down. Nice job keeping that opening drive alive, and they're in plus territory, that part of the field where you really want to convert on 3rd down. They did.
Big-time pickup for them, and now I think the aggressive play callers think to themselves, this part of the field, I take my shot at the end zone. Because the closer you get to the end zone, the field gets condensed. Makes it a lot tougher to run those routes. You still got a chance to actually run past people right now. Take your shot at the end zone early in the down and distance count.
And he's going to get this inside the 30. 11 yards and a Cowboy 1st down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Here we go.
He's scared. Strong right, strong right, strong right.
They keep on the ground with Elliott. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a 1st down. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
From the red zone now, Prescott almost able to intercept it. That's one he would have liked to have held on to on this first drive. Instead, 2nd down. The offensive starters now for the Cowboys.
It's so good to see big number 72, Travis Frederick, back in a Cowboys uniform. Remember, he missed all of last season with Guillain-Barré syndrome. And prior to that, he'd been to the Pro Bowl 4 straight times at center. And his return, a huge boost to the offensive line. Better to have him in uniform than coaching.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Here's Elliott. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. A.J. Klein on the tackle there. And here now, New Orleans defensive unit.
Linebacker Demario Davis made the move from the New York Jets to the New Orleans Saints before the 2018 season, and that move really paid off for him. Always a terrific player, Now he was able to get to the playoffs for the first time in his NFL career.
Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on third down. They play fake to Elliott. Now Prescott sliding out of the pocket. He may try and run for this. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
These type of plays are backbreakers for a defense. They thought they had him hemmed in, thought they were going to get him on the ground with the pass rush, but were unable to do so. He gets away, picks up a big 1st down, and sets up 1st and goal inside the 10.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. A 6-yard touchdown run. And the Cowboys have taken the lead.
I know the play ends up in the end zone with one person carrying the ball, but how about that big mass of humanity that guided him to that spot?
Yeah, they got there, but I love the dive. Always a fan of the dive. Brett Maher on for the extra point. And this is up and good to make it 7-3. A 10-play drive that time. And it culminates in a touchdown run by Ezekiel Elliott. Following the touchdown, here's Maher to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. CD, let's continue the discussion that we were having earlier when New Orleans first came onto the field in that opening drive. They had that win against Seattle, 33-27. Teddy Bridgewater was great. But for Sean Payton, how about this? First win as New Orleans coach without Drew Brees under center. And it doesn't hurt for Teddy Bridgewater to turn around and have Alvin Kamara behind him.
You're exactly right about that because he could hand it to him, and Kamara ran for 69 yards and a touchdown. He can throw it to him, 9 catches, 92 yards, and another touchdown. And speed was all over the field for New Orleans. How about the punt return by Deontay Harris for 53 yards and a touchdown? Helped break the game open.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
His 13th NFL season now, Ted Ginn still a reliable target for Drew Brees. 787 yards in 2017, just 5 games last year due to injuries, but he still has the wheels.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. From the gun, it's Brees. This is caught by Ginn. And he is down at the 48. A pickup of 4 that started at 148-yard line and ended at the other.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Now Brees. And Cook has it, left side. That one good for a first down pickup of 18 yards.
Jared Cook is a guy who's been around the NFL. He's been with the Titans, the Rams, the Packers, and the last 2 years in Oakland. Now he makes a move to the Big Easy, where he pairs with Drew Brees and forms a nice little threat.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Again, they'll throw with Breeze. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. It'll be a gain of 4, and that'll make it 2nd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Ready, yellow lady.
Mike 4. I got one.
To throw again on 2nd down. Breeze gets it to Meredith, complete. And he's going to have another 1st down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 15-yard line.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Breeze going to come up here, 1st and 10. And he's hit on all 5 of his pass attempts on this drive so far. Into the red zone, it's Breeze. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. It's a gain of 9 yards. And it'll be 2nd and about a yard.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Breeze leaves this one with Kamara. Oh, fighting off the defender. No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1. Okay, 2nd and 1, you get nothing. What now on 3rd and 1?
Sorry about that. I was so excited I jumped in on you. This is almost like practice to me. Line it up and do it again. You didn't get it right the first time. Just get right back on the ball and go. It doesn't matter that they know you're coming. You ought to be able to pick up this short yardage.
Throwing now is Breeze. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. From 6 yards away. And once again, the Saints are back out in front. Well, it was 3rd and 1. I was expecting run, so much for that. They pass it, they score it.
That had the feel of the head coach telling the offensive coordinator, you've got 4 downs here. We're going to go for it on 4th down unless there's a disaster on 3rd. Go ahead and take a shot if you want to. And he gratefully accepted the opportunity and did exactly that. If they didn't get it there, that had the feel that they would come back and try it on 4th down.
Lutz with the extra point, and the lead is now 10-7. So that one, an 8-play drive. It spans 75 yards, and it all culminates in a Saints touchdown. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Charles, I want to go back to the Cowboys' 3-0 start here as their offense comes back out onto the field. As you said earlier, they started slow in the game against Miami. Good second half, but how about the ground game? They had 2 guys go over 100 yards rushing.
Yeah, Zeke Elliott, you expect. 3rd week back after, missing much of the preseason. He's in full form now. But their draft pick out of Memphis, Tony Pollard, got his first 100-yard game in the NFL. Looks really good doing it. And, of course, they can throw the ball to the outside as well. Amari Cooper, who they got last year in a trade, he found the end zone twice. This is a team that is very dangerous on offense because if you shut down any aspect, they've got plenty of other places to go that can give them production.
And I would like to thank Amari Cooper on my fantasy team, and I really appreciated those 2 scores. So thank you, sir.
Attaboy, Amari, hooking a man up.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30.
Check, 47. And we heavy on the edges, heavy on the edges.
This is Elliott. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. Big Sheldon Rankins there to bring him down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. He's got his target. It's Cobb. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. First time they've hooked up here. Good for 17 and a first down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
A first down throw for Prescott. Wide open, Amari Cooper. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 12 more yards there and another first down.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, a tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
A 3-yard gain on the play. Brings up third down.
If they want a first, they need to get the football to the 32 here on third down. Out of the gun. Here's Prescott. He can run for it, and he will. And avoids the contact by sliding. 8 yards that time, able to take off, and the result is a first down.
We just saw a nice example of why teams often bring in baseball guys to teach quarterbacks how to slide in key situations. You want to protect your franchise guy. Make sure he doesn't get hurt. He did exactly that on that play. A perfect slide to avoid the big hit and pick up a first down.
From the 32 now, here's first and 10. They'll try to throw now. Prescott. Rush coming, and he's taken down. David Onyemata busting through to get him for a loss of 6. You think back to last year, Dak Prescott was sacked 56 times, second most in the league behind Deshaun Watson of the Texans. So second and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. They'll run with Elliott. 3 yards on the gain. They're going to need to do better on this next play. It'll be 3rd and 12.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Off play action to Elliott. Here's Prescott. He wants it all for the end zone. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a fourth down decision.
Brett Maher now for the Cowboy field goal. This will be kicked from the 42. It's a 52-yard attempt. And his kick is good. Oh, he just did tuck it into the bottom of that left corner. Of course, the door for Maher was opened after a little bit of a surprise move, the Cowboys letting go of Dan Bailey last year.
Yeah, Maher took over in the preseason. He's from Nebraska via the Canadian Football League where he kicked for 4 years. And I saw him personally make 2 game-winning field goals last season against Detroit and in Atlanta.
All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were competent enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
And here's a throw that's taken in by the tight end Cook. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
Check tight, check tight, check tight.
These two teams all tied after one. Ready for the second quarter from New Orleans. It's the Saints in possession as they are looking at a 2nd and 5 situation. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5.
Let's go, D. Big series right here. We got to step it inside.
To throw, it's Breeze. It's brought in right side by Ginn. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. Give him 14 on that one and a first down.
Well, this is where reading defenses and practice time comes into play. You've got to know what you're running versus zone versus man and how to run the proper route. And they just executed that one pretty well.
Here we go.
Off the play fake to Kamara, it's Breeze. The catch made over the middle by Ginn. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 right at the 40. Again, it's Breeze. He throws and he hits the slant route to Thomas. And he lost the football. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. You probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. Now Breeze completes this one to Meredith. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards.
How about the fellas with the stars on the side of their helmets rising up on defense? We always hear about the Cowboys' rushing offense. Their rush defense is pretty good as well, I think, because they're so cohesive. Defensive line, linebackers really work well together.
And for the 2nd time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. He's going to need a little mustard on this one. It'll be a 51-yard attempt. That's on target, but it's no good. He had it on line, but it came up just shy of the crossbar. And this game will remain tied here in quarter number 2. Now listen, now no kick from 50-plus is a gimme, but here you're indoors in a dome. You'd think ideal conditions.
Yeah, and it's one that he would expect himself to make, not just us expecting him to make it. Over the years, my theory is very simple. The athletic ability of kickers continues to get better and better. Check their backgrounds. They were all county, all state, at other positions, not just soccer players. These guys expect themselves to be great as well.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. 10th carry now for Elliott. A 1-yard gain there following the 3-yard pickup on first down. For Zeke, what a first 3 years he's had in the NFL. Last year, his 2nd rushing title, 1,434 yards. Not as many as 1,631 that he had as a rookie, but still his yards per game average was the best in the National Football League. On 3rd down, it's Prescott. He gets it over the middle to Cobb. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. So on 4th down, here's Chris Jones to punt it away. Marcus Sherrill's deep for the Saints. And this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline, they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Yeah, get a little closer.
Yeah, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
They begin on the ground with Kamara. And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
From the 26, they'll line up on 2nd and 4.
You don't know no better.
On the ground, Kamara. Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Ready? You ready? 54 Mike.
Watch the slants. Watch the slant.
On third down, here's Kamara. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. 2 yards and able to get the first down in the process.
Well, partner, none of these runs individually have added up to a whole lot.
Now, 3 plays, all 3 short runs, but together a first down.
Yeah, it's amazing how the narrative changes when you string them together.
So first and 10 now from the 30.
Yeah, let's get a sack lunch.
Now they'll throw with Breeze. Over the middle, it's Jared Cook. And he's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
And watch the ball.
From the gun, it's a run for Kamara. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. DeMarcus Lawrence in on the tackle. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
Now Breeze on third down. Try to lay one up deep. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Here's Thomas Morstead on now to punt it away on 4th down. Back deep for the Cowboys, Tavon Austin. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They'll start the drive with Elliott. And he'll be upended after a gain of 5, up to the 25-yard line.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
Check three.
Now Prescott going right side. He has Witten. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Give him 14 on that one and a first down. Boy, you got to think that having the 37-year-old veteran Jason Witten back at tight end is going to be great for Dak Prescott for plays just like that. And you think to last year when Witten wasn't there, it was kind of a rotating carousel. They had Blake Jarwin, Jeff Swaim, Rico Gathers, Dalton Schultz. But Witten back out there and doing his thing again. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Charles, before the game, you and I were looking at the still undefeated teams in the league, and Detroit's technically won at 2-0-1, but let's look at the 3-0 teams. The Bills, Patriots, Chiefs, Cowboys, Rams, 49ers, and Packers. I'm guessing if I ask you who would lose first, you might say Buffalo because they play New England this weekend.
I think you're right about that because that's what you look at. What's the schedule tell us? We know the 49ers are safe because they got an open week coming, so they should be okay on that one. But you would say Buffalo, even though they're at home, New England gets them. But as a wild card, putting them on upset alert, Green Bay on Thursday night with a desperate Philadelphia team coming in. You know, you've got to be really careful with that, despite the fact Green Bay's defense has been so impressive in the early going.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Here's Prescott, complete to Jason Witten. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints 30.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
They play fake to Elliott. Now Prescott. And an alley to run. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
On that play, as you saw the route start to develop downfield, I got the sense that maybe the run would set up for him. And he took full advantage of it and got a big gain on a busted play.
Draw play, Elliott. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. Demario Davis, who was the Saints' leading tackler in his first year in New Orleans, in on the stop.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2, and that changes the playbook a little bit.